Picture two Australians, both retired, both on the same $31,000 a year. One is in suburban Melbourne, stretched thin, skipping meals out, watching the super balance shrink. The other is in Bali, villa rental, daily coffee, housekeeper twice a week, and a beach 10 minutes away. Same income, completely different life. Today we're breaking down exactly how Australians are retiring in Bali on $31,000 a year. The visa, the real budget numbers, the hidden catches, and whether this is actually a legit retirement strategy or just a fantasy people sell on Instagram. No fluff, just the maths. Think about what that actually means for a lot of Australians right now. 40 years of work, and retirement becomes checking supermarket specials and wondering if you can afford a weekend away. According to ASFA, a comfortable single retirement in Australia requires around $51,000 a year. A modest one sits at about $32,000. And the full age pension right now delivers roughly $27,700 a year for a single person. So if you're on the pension, or close to it, you are already below what ASFA calls comfortable. You're not failing. The system is just expensive. And here's where it gets interesting. That same $31,000 to $32,000, the figure ASFA calls modest in Australia, can fund something closer to comfortable in Bali. Not because Bali is some secret hack, but because the cost structure is fundamentally different. Let's talk real numbers. Expat cost guides for Bali in 2026 put a modest solo lifestyle somewhere between $900 and $1,200 a month. Convert that at current rates, and you're looking at roughly 1,400 Australian dollars to 1,850 Australian dollars per month. A more comfortable lifestyle, decent villa, regular dining out, weekend trips around the island, comes in around $1,500 to $2,000 a month. That's about 2,300 Australian dollars to 3,100 Australian dollars. So yes, $31,000 a year lands you squarely in comfortable Bali territory. Not luxury, but genuinely comfortable. Breakfast at a local cafe every morning, fresh produce from the market, and regular meals out might cost less than many Australians spend at Coles in a fortnight. Rent for a decent one-bedroom outside the tourist hotspots runs 800 Australian dollars to 1,200 Australian dollars a month. Transport, utilities, fast internet add another 300 Australian dollars. Health insurance, and you absolutely need this, runs 200 Australian dollars to 400 Australian dollars a month, depending on your age and coverage. Visa costs annualized work out to about 125 Australian dollars a month. Total, roughly 1,500 Australian dollars to 2,475 Australian dollars a month. $31,000 covers that, with room. Now let's talk about how you actually stay there legally, because this is where a lot of people get fuzzy. The most commonly used pathway is the retirement kitas, a long stay permit for older foreigners. Eligibility generally requires you to be 55 or older, show proof of retirement income, arrange local accommodation, and hold health insurance. Some sources put the income threshold at around $1,500 a month. Others cite closer to $3,000. The rules have shifted over time, so you need current advice from a registered visa agent, not a Facebook group. The visa itself typically costs under $1,000 a year to maintain. About 1,500 Australian dollars. Annoying, but manageable when it's already built into the budget above. But here's the thing nobody puts in the headline. Bali lets you buy back time. And that changes everything. Imagine reaching retirement and no longer spending your mornings cleaning, shopping, driving across town, dealing with endless errands. Affordable household help is completely normal in Bali. Cleaning, laundry, the daily tasks that quietly eat your hours in Australia. Accessible at local rates. Instead of paying for convenience occasionally, convenience becomes normal life. That's not a small thing when you're 62 and you finally have the years to spend however you choose. People remember that more than any budget breakdown. You're not just spending less, you're getting your time back. Bali is also not far. Direct flights from major Australian cities run around 6 hours. That matters more than people admit. Family visits are real, not theoretical. If you need specialist medical care in Australia, you can get back without a 24-hour ordeal. This is not a one-way door. Hold on, because here's what nobody tells you, and this is where a lot of people get burned. Bali retirement only works if you match your lifestyle to local costs, not imported ones. The moment you start chasing imported Western groceries, premium expat housing in Seminyak, or a social life built around rooftop bars, the budget blows out fast. Imported goods in Bali can be surprisingly expensive. Healthcare is another real consideration. Bali handles routine care well, but for anything serious, you need insurance that covers medical evacuation or treatment back home. And the bureaucracy is slower, the humidity is relentless, and adapting to local rhythms takes genuine adjustment. This is not a passive lifestyle upgrade. It requires a considered, disciplined approach to actually work. So 3 things you can do right now, if this is genuinely on your radar. First, run your actual retirement income number. Check your super projection using MoneySmart's retirement planner. Factor in your age pension entitlement and get a real figure. You need a real number before any of this makes sense. Second, get current visa advice. Contact a registered Indonesian visa agent, not forums, not outdated blog posts. The retirement KITAS rules have changed before and will change again. Third, do a test run before you commit. A 30 to 60-day stay in the area you're considering, living on a retirement budget, not a holiday budget, will tell you more than any YouTube video can. Rent local, eat local. See if the rhythm actually fits your life. For some Australians, $31,000 a year means cutting back. For others, it means coffee by the beach, your mornings back, and a life that finally feels like it fits. Same money, different postcode. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.